This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, cutting आ जाएगा. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm starting with topic cystic neoplasms of pancreas. I think pancreatic adenocarcinoma was covered. Acute and chronic pancreatitis was covered. Cystic neoplasms of pancreas and the neuroendocrine tumors. Cystic common exocrine pancreatic neoplasms. Next to the neoplasms of the pancreas are second most common adenocarcinoma. Adenocarcinoma is the most common malignant tumor. After that, cystic neoplasms. The cystic neoplasms again divided into three types: serous, mucinous, IPMN. Then in detail about each. Mucinous cystic neoplasms. Most common cystic neoplasm of the pancreas is a common in young women and men. Sorry, rare. Most commonly affected fifth decade, around 40 years above. Typically found in the body and tail of the pancreas. Pancreas divided into head, neck, body, tail. These mucinous cystic neoplasms common in the body and tail of the pancreas. Contain mucin producing epithelium. Trains of mucin rich cells and ovarian like stroma. Stroma contains ovary like cells. Germline cells. CT scan is the investigation of choice. The mucinous cystic neoplasms, multiple small cysts are present. The difference between serous cystadenoma and mucinous cystadenoma is serous cystadenoma cyst size is almost 2 to 3 centimeters each cyst, but mucinous cystadenoma it is small cyst. Serous cystadenoma it contains clear fluid, but in mucinous cystadenoma it is mucin like thick fluid. In CT scan it shows solitary fine septations surrounded by rim of calcification. This ovarian like stroma and rim of calcification, these two are pathognomonic of mucinous cystadenoma. The characteristic features: ovarian like stroma and rim of calcification. Predictors of malignancy: eggshell calcification, large tumor size, mural nodule on cross-sectional image. These mucinous cystadenoma sometimes communicate with the pancreatic ducts. Whenever it communicates with the pancreatic duct, the prognosis is poor. More chances of neoplasm, mucinous cystadenocarcinoma. Endoscopic ultrasound and cyst fluid analysis demonstrates mucin rich, aspirate, and high CEA levels, carcinoma embryonic antigen cells levels more than 192 nanograms per ml, low level of amylase. Treatment of choice is recession of the pancreas. Cystic neoplasms, most common cystic neoplasms of pancreas, most common in body and tail, rare in young women and men. Characteristic features are ovarian-like stroma, rim of calcification, axial calcification. These biochemical levels, high CEA levels and low amylase levels. Serous cystic neoplasm, most commonly present in the head of the pancreas. Presented with vago abdominal pain and less frequently with weight loss and obstructive jaundice. Pancreatic head tumors most of the times obstruct the bile drainage, so that presented with obstructive jaundice. But in serous cystadenoma, it is less likely. You can see the obstructive jaundice. These serous cystic neoplasms are large, well circumscribed masses. Microscopy shows multiloculated glycogen rich small cysts. CT scan shows for pancreatic tumors, CT is the investigation of choice, early investigation and investigation of choice. Central calcification with radiating septa giving the sunburst appearance. Serous cystadenoma, this characteristic feature is central calcification. For mucinous cystadenoma, axial calcification, rim of calcification or axial calcification. Large, more than 4 centimeters in size, are rapidly growing. These are symptomatic lesions. If symptomatic, we can go for recession. Small tumors less than 4 centimeters, asymptomatic tumors. If small tumors is symptomatic, we can go for resection. If small tumors with less than 4 centimeters in size, asymptomatic, we can observe, frequently go for scanning. Frequently, every 6 months, we can go for scan and observe the size of the tumor. If any increase in the size, any obstructive symptoms, then go for resection of the pancreas. IPMN, intraductal papillary mucinous neoplasm. First described by Hashi. This is having several names. mucin secreting carcinoma, diffuse intraductal papillary adenocarcinoma, intraductal cystadenoma, mucinous duct ectasia, intraductal papillary mucinous tumor. IPMN, for IPMN there are several names. Mainly this is mucin secreting tumor. Main difference between mucinous tumor and IPMN is duct communication. Mucinous tumor sometimes or rarely having the communication with the duct, which is associated with duct attachment, either branched duct or main duct. Sixth to seventh decade of life, after 50 to 60 years of life, commonly in head region. For mucinous tumors, it is common in body and tail. These neoplasms are wide spectrum, ranging from benign adenoma, borderline carcinoma in situ, and invasive adenocarcinoma. Histologically, these are having wide spectrum of features. Benign tumors, borderline benign or borderline malignant, carcinoma in situ, and invasive carcinoma. Types: side branch IPMN or branch duct IPMN, main branch IPMN or main duct IPMN, third type is mixed type. Side branch or branch duct IPMN is involves dilatation of the pancreatic duct. Side branches that communicate with but do not involve the main pancreatic duct. These side branches which collect the pancreatic secretions from the alveoli, acini, which open into the main pancreatic duct. Side branch IPMN, these side branches are involved. These side branches which communicate with the main pancreatic duct, but this neoplasm does not communicate with the main pancreatic duct. These are only communicate with the side branches, so that side branches will dilate. These are focal, that is involving single branch. or multifocal, multiple small branches. Risk of malignant transformation directly related to the size of the cystic dilatation. Others like mural nodules or general thickening of the cyst wall, symptoms like general thickening of the cyst wall, symptoms like jaundice, pain, and diabetes. These are all indications for the malignant transformation. That is size of the cystic dilatation, mural nodule, or thickening of the cyst wall. Symptoms like jaundice, pain, and diabetes. Diabetes due to endocrine cell dysfunction. Small IPMNs less than 1 centimeter. Conservative management. Surveillance with CT or MRI. MRI because involvement of the ducts. Ducts may clearly seen in the MRCP. So that for ductal involvement we can use MRI scanning to know the number of branches and increasing the size of the branch, size of the swelling, and number of branches involved in this information was well known by the MRI. The surveillance in every 1 year. Asymptomatic cyst with 1 to 3 centimeters. Imaging at 6 months. If there is no increase in the size, then annual evaluation. If cysts are larger than 3 centimeters, surgical recession, that is partial pancreatectomy. Risk of invasive malignancy is 10 to 15%. Serous cystadenoma very rarely turn into malignancy. Mucinous and IPMN, these two having the high malignant transformation chances. If size is less than 1 centimeter, MRI every year. Still less than 1 centimeter, surveillance with MRI. If size is increased, size is in between 1 to 3 centimeters, then go for MRI or endoscopic ultrasound. If it is having any worrisome features like obstructive features or malignant transformation chances, like that is increasing thickening of the cyst wall, there is rapid increase in the size of the cyst, then go for resection. If there is no such features, presence of any symptoms like pain abdomen, recurrent pain abdomen, symptoms are there, then go for resection. If no symptoms, then evaluation for after 6 months, followed by, if there is no increase in the size, then surveillance for every 1 year. If size is 1 to 3 centimeters, if size more than 3 centimeters, directly go for resection, because there is increase in the size of the cyst, there is chances of malignant transformation are very high. Main duct IPMN, abnormal cystic dilatation of the main pancreatic duct with columnar metaplasia. Endoscopy shows thick mucus secretions oozing from the patulous papilla. These are maybe focal or diffuse. For main duct IPMN, 30 to 50% risk of harboring invasive pancreatic carcinoma at the time of presentation. Whenever the patient present to the clinician with pain abdomen or jaundice, most of the times it's already transformed into malignancy. So the risk of malignancy is in main duct pancreatic IPMN is 30 to 50%, but with side duct is 10 to 15%. Treatment is surgical resection, predictors of malignancy, jaundice, elevated serum alkaline phosphatase, mural nodule, diabetes, main pancreatic duct diameter is 7 mm or more. Elevation of CA level is not predictive of invasive malignancy. CT scan shows dilated main pancreatic duct, cysts of varying sizes, and possibly mural nodules. MRCP, localization of mural nodules and pre-treatment classification of suspected side branch or main duct IPMN. Because sometimes there is mixed IPMN maybe there. So MRCP is useful to differentiate between main pancreatic duct IPMN and side branch pancreatic duct IPMN. Aspirated fluid is typically viscous and clear. contains mucin and columnar mucinous cells with variable atypia. Atypia indicates malignant transformation. Elevated CA levels more than 192 nanograms per ml. In mixed type IPMN, this side branch IPMN extended to communicate with the main duct. Risk of malignancy is same to that main pancreatic duct IPMN. Surgical resection is the treatment. Comparison between serous adenoma, serous mucinous IPMN. The serous cystic neoplasms more common in females. Mucinous also more common in females, but IPMN is equal distribution in female and male. Age almost more common in 5th to 7th decade. Serous cystadenoma, head of the pancreas are evenly distributed. Mucinous body and tail, IPMN head. Appearance is star-burst appearance. Communication with ducts is no communication in serous cystadenoma. Very rare in mucinous and IPMN is common. Cytology shows glycogen rich cells. If sign is negative, amylase low, CEA low. For mucinous cystic neoplasms, XL calcification, macrocyst, thick walled. Cytology shows sheets and clusters of columnar and containing cells. Same in that IPMN. So low in MCN, but high in IPMN. CA levels high in both MCN and IPMN. Pancreatic neuroendocrine tumors. Paul Langerhans, who identified these endocrine cells. So these are called Langerhans cells, islets of Langerhans cells. Alpha, which secretes glucagon. Beta, insulin and amylin. delta, somatostatin, and vasoactive intestinal peptide. F cells secrete pancreatic polypeptide. Gastrin producing cells are normally present in the fetal pancreas only. After development, these gastrin secreting cells are disappeared. Islet cell tumors, these are very rare. Most of the times are benign and non-functional. The least incident in insulinomas for malignant transformation. Glucogonomas are almost 100% malignant. These neuroendocrine tumors are insulinomas, glucogonomas, VIPoma. These are arises from the pancreas, but gastrinomas which are mainly occur in the duodenum. Molecular genetics which are different from the pancreatic adenocarcinoma. Transcriptional silencing is believed to play a role in islet cell tumorigenesis. Loss of heterozygosity in 11q is the common in functional pancreatic endocrine tumors. For non-functional tumors, it is 6q. Chromosome 11q is associated with functional tumors. 6q is associated with non-functional tumors. Insulinoma is the most common tumor, benign tumor. Malignant transformation is very less. It's functioning tumor. Equitable distribution in the body, head and tail. %97% located in the pancreas. Remaining 3% located in the duodenum, splenic hilum, or gastric ligament. Had fasting induced neuroglycopenic symptoms of hypoglycemia, low blood glucose levels 40 to 50 milligrams per deciliter, relief of symptoms after administration of glucose, investigations 72-hour fasting test, high level of serum insulin more than 5 microunits per ml, insulin to glucose ratio higher than 0.3, C-peptide levels higher than 1.2 micrograms per ml. C-peptide levels usually indicate the levels of active insulin. Almost proportional to the insulin levels. CECT or MRI shows hyperattenuating because of their rich vascular supply. These tumors are hyperattenuating. The arrow mark shows the hyperattenuating tumor in the tail of the pancreas. Gastrinoma, which is second most common functional pancreatic endocrine tumor. These are mostly present in the duodenum. More common in men. These gastrinomas cause Zollinger-Ellison syndrome. Hypergastrinemia, subsequent severe peptic ulceration, severe diarrhea, most common symptom is abdominal pain, 75%, diarrhea, which is relieved by the nasogastric aspiration, symptoms like GERD. Gastrinoma triangle or Passaros triangle. This is the most common location for the gastrinoma. Cystic at CBD junction. The junction between the second and third portion of the duodenum and junction between the neck and body of the pancreas. Signs of hypergastrinemia: in the presence of increased secretion of gastric acid, elevated serum gastrin levels, and pH is less than 2. Fasting levels of gastrin, which is more than 1000 picograms per ml. Normal is 100, 10 times the normal level. An increase of more than 200 picograms per ml in the gastrin after administration of secretin. Okay, I will stop here. I will continue in next class the remaining endocrine tumors. Put your attendance in the chat box.